Oh,
I think
Hello.
I think there's some like leftover music in the
Yes.
intro video.
I was like, wait.
What
Anyway,
happened?
good.
Oh,
That would have been a nice live stream, 2 hours of music. The end.
Oh wow, that was so cool. Didn't expect. I should have checked that. I'm sorry. That's my fault. I was just saying, like, look at all the things that I have prepped, except looking at it if it actually works. Okay. Well, hi,
Welcome.
welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the Home Assistant Release Party 2024.12. This means it is the last release of the year, which it is actually not the last thing we're releasing this year. More
No.
about that in a bit. Super excited about that. But before we get started, let's do a quick intro. Here, me in the beautiful GitHub sweater is I'm Paula Schoutse. I'm the founder of Home Assistant.
Here in the Clippy sweater, your community and social media manager.
Hi, I'm Frank, and I'm the lead engineer for Noble Casa and Home Assistant. And yeah, I only brought my hat today. I want to do my Christmas sweater as well, but it turned out to be green. And I sat down and was like, that doesn't work on a green screen. Anyways, hi.
Hello, my name is Jello. I'm the product manager of Home Assistant. I have no sweaters and no hats. I do have a big bunny, right? That's
That could be white.
Nijntje.
Yeah.
Nijntje. That's, by the way, the original Dutch name for her.
Yeah.
Nijntje. Not Miffy, but Nijntje. Just so you know.
Good. We got quite a
A
release
lot.
today. We
Not just the release. We have lots of information in general, though.
yeah. Where shall we start? Shall we start with the other thing you have to watch this month? So we've been giving a few hints already in the last couple of months. We've been working on it for 2 years, which is Home Assistant Voice. And on December 19, we're hosting a live stream, same channel, same time, to announce our new hardware. And what is really cool about this hardware launch that we're doing different than other hardware launches is that we aim there to be availability when we launch. And so it's not going to go out of stock right away. That's why we're a bit delayed. Lots of cool information also in the release notes about kind of like a teaser stuff. We'll not go too much into that because you just have to tune in 2 weeks. Yeah, Home Assistant Voice. It will be awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited. People have been asking.
Yeah.
I got emails like, hey, do you need more testers? I'm like, no, sorry, just
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice try, though. Nice try. Definitely nice try.
I think we should actually follow that up with what the heck, because that actually someone posted about why we didn't have pre-orders on what the heck. So that's kind of why we talked about that a little bit.
yeah.
We started that on Sunday, Frank, right?
Yeah. So besides the teasers, which we will probably tease 10 million times this stream, by the way, sorry for that, but we will. We're just so excited, to be honest. But yeah, look at that. I should have resized my screen. Here, let me do that. But yes, indeed, Missy is highlighting it correctly. We have this month, the whole month of December, the month of what the heck. And yeah, if you're not familiar with the concept, it's basically, how would you say this? We open up the floodgates for you to raise anything that's on your mind, like an annoyance, an idea, basically anything you can think of about Home Assistant, of course. And you can then like submit that with us and tell us what annoys you, what idea you have, what would make Home Assistant better for you, and especially for the whole community. And for that, we've opened up, or Missy has opened up, the community forums with a category there. But there's a blog post about this month and what to expect. Like, so there are some samples in here of things that we're looking for. So the question here, for example, Sentinel might be listening, right? If you could ask for one small Home Assistant improvement this holiday season, what would it be? That's a little bit the gist, right? Answer that one for yourself, and you probably have the what the heck moment you could share. But yeah, here are some interesting ones. I like this one, by the way. For example, polygon zones would be very helpful instead of just circular ones. I do agree. It has a challenge, but would be very nice. So thank you for that, Crisp Kiwi. This one from Paulus Schoutsen. Home Assistant voice hardware. That's a good idea. We should explore that.
We should explore
Wherever you are, Paulus, we are listening to you.
Yes, definitely. No, but
what's cool about this year, Months of What the Heck, is that if your let's say what the heck moment are too big, the product team is also looking at the forums, looking at the most voted one, and trying to see if we can introduce them into a future roadmap. So like everything that you find annoying about Home Assistant, every what the heck moment is useful for us.
Yeah, and it is like so many people will pick up small what the hacks. We're like, oh yeah, that's annoying that we don't have this button here or that. And so, for example, I saw one like, oh, there was some trigger data missing when people were registering sentence triggers. It wasn't clear if a person was saying that and which person it was. And so you just added the data and boom, now it's already in this release. So very cool.
Yeah. And this is the wrong one. I wanted to say this. What the heck, hello forums. It has been very busy, which is absolutely stunning to see. We fixed that issue, by the way. So it's looking pretty stable.
We did. Now. It's been way more stable the rest of the week.
But even if you don't have like a true, did I click that? Home Assistant hardware, small regret. Gotcha. So let's not limit ourselves. Like that's also the case here. We want to see big and small stuff. It doesn't matter that much if it's like a little idea. Like, of course, that's nice. Like if it's something little that annoys me that we can fix. Like, for example, I don't like the color blue. I don't know, whatever, or this button here would be perfect. Then these are things that could be picked up soon, right? Those are little annoyances we can do something about. But the bigger ones definitely count as well. And they help shape the roadmap, like JLo said, right? Yeah. If we work on the roadmap and things to pan out for the upcoming years, then this is definitely helping. We're having a month where we make a snapshot of your wishes and the community wishes.
The barrier to participate to what the heck is very low. Because when you think about it, the simplest way to participate would be to go to the forums, read what people are asking, and just vote. That would be like the simplest one. And then the next level would be to actually create a post about your own annoyance.
Yeah.
But everything basically is helpful for us. Go there and just vote. Comment, post.
There's literally no barrier, right? No requirements, no forms, no version numbers, no logs. Just if you think something annoys you, let us know.
Yeah.
Look at that. Good example.
And when you create it, don't forget to vote for it. It doesn't automatically vote like Reddit does. You need to vote for it if you want that number to go up too.
Yeah, you need to vote for your own thing. But all in all, I'm looking forward to this month. I enjoyed this pretty much. It has been a very good thing in the past. We do this every 2 years. And the last year's one, like very well-known examples of the last years are labels, yes, or drag and drop on dashboards, right? And it actually landed like last release as stable, right? That was just last month, and what the heck was 2 years ago.
I do like the fact that this also means that we are on the good track, right? No surprise, like everything is aligned, right? There is nothing that we are pulling out of the hat for the roadmap. We work on things that matters for you. You tell us what matters for you. We include them on the next roadmap. Everything makes sense. I love it.
Yep. And this is for us what it means to be powered by the community, right? Like the fact that we open up, expose ourselves. Like, can you imagine like Windows doing this? What kind of stuff would end up? Like, I it takes to just accept all this feedback and like to process it. It's a lot of work and a lot of courage to just like open up. But we love it because so much valuable stuff comes out of it that just makes it better for everyone.
Yeah. It also helps with decisions, not just roadmap. Like at some point, you're like, should we add this or should we do this? And we're like, oh, maybe can we look it up and what people think and say. It's very, very valuable.
Well, that's also why it's important to discuss what the heck topics, right? If you see something, like I try to go around and like add some background why a decision might be the way it is today, right? Because sometimes it's just a technical reason or a technical shortcut that we did back in the day and then never addressed again. So,
yeah. So, month of what the heck?
Yes.
My what the heck is the most important. Yeah. I can't imagine that response in general. So let's get people to vote on that stuff. All right. How long has the stream been running? Oh, just for 10 minutes, mate. You're right on time, Chop.
Yes.
You missed an important announcement, though. We're going to talk about hardware. Some point, not today.
In 2 weeks. Come back then.
We will come back. We will come back to that a million times.
Yes, a million times. Yes, exactly. All right. All right. What the heck have we talked about?
Yeah. Now,
what else? Now what?
Let's jump into this release. I think there's a lot in this release. I definitely want to dive deep into like the one kind of process that we changed about the quality, but like that will be coming later. I think we should just start about like the big hits first.
Showing something, yes, definitely. But do you want to dive in? Should we like spice it up a little and just go into the title of the release?
Let's do it.
The release is titled.
Yeah, perfect.
The release is titled "Seen You in 2025." Like fun intended there. And
wait, before we start, like just from the people here on the stream, like raise your hand if you use scenes.
I do
just
now.
Type one. Just type 1 in the chat. That's easy.
So,
just type 1 and 0 if you don't.
So yes, but no.
Yes, but no.
Right, not this feature. I'm using them in automation. I'm capturing states to restore them. So
you make dynamic scenes.
Yes,
right.
Look at the one.
Oh God,
that's
more than I expected.
Yeah, no, I think it's like 2 if you type 1 before.
No, so I think, I mean, before we dive into scenes, right, like, and what we fixed, I think it would be cool to just say what scenes are, because if you think about home automation and how you control a house, if you look at scripts, which like also automations are made up out of, right, in a script, you tell Home Assistant what to do, like turn on this light or turn off this light or open the garage door, open the blinds. With a scene, instead of saying what Home Assistant should do to get to the desired state, you give Home Assistant the desired state. I want the garage door to be open. I want the light to be on. And then the Home Assistant has to look at the current state and call the right actions to get for you into the desired state. Now, this is very powerful because it means that like JLO is using it in his automations, before he starts messing with some lights or something, he can just make a snapshot of the state of a few devices, mess with them for announcements, and after that, restore them to exactly the state they were, because Home Assistant can just figure that out. Now, you can also create your own scenes, right? So where you're literally just taking a few devices or a few entities, you just click save, and now you have a scene you can always activate to reproduce the state of the devices the moment you hit save. And this is where it gets interesting.
Yeah, the way I explain it is like it's like the script part is kind of like all of the controls that you may have in your home. So like you turn on the light, you open the shades, you do that. So it's, can imagine like you have like this control panel and you say like I'm going to press this, and this and that. And the scene is mostly like a picture. You take a picture and then you give it to the system. You say like I want that. Just
it's a snapshot of your current home or your current things, right? That's literally it. And what I think is so cool about scenes, like if you indeed talk about automations and scripts, there you define really what is going to happen, like turn on this light, make it that color, and you have to be specific about every single thing. While scenes, literally, you can snapshot anything. And that the thing that is there, it's not just lights, it's also your thermostat, your media players. So you could essentially set up your whole home into, well, I think this is always the most common example, but a romantic mode, right? Where you have like a holiday mode, like seasonal. It's seasonal. Come on, it's Christmas. Like some kind of like Christmas happy mode where you like put on the Christmas tree and the lights do all kind of color scenes and the heating up and the radio on with some Christmas music playing. And you could snapshot all those devices in your living room into a scene and then call it from an automation of scripts and saying, hey, that, and when I had that, all of that, I want that now again. And I think that's the really cool part of it. It's like a little building block you can use in your automations more than it is a mood.
And if you snapshot a person and the person is at work and then you reactivate the scene, the person teleports back at work. So automation can be used as a way to teleport people. No,
you cannot select a person. I hope
that's from what the heck.
I don't think so.
You scare me, that bloke. I think it's okay.
So, but we had a problem with scenes.
Yeah,
So
a big one.
I think the problem we have with scenes is that it works by taking a snapshot, capturing a picture, the state of the current devices. So when you were editing a scene, what we did is that we would activate the scene, allow you to mess with the devices, and when you hit save, we would store those devices states again. But
By the
now
way,
that
it's the only way, more or less. I mean, even
It
if we
was
do
the only
something
way,
better,
yeah.
but yeah.
So we've explored a couple of times. Can we just show the Home Assistant controls, allow you to change the controls to how you want the state to be, store those commands as in like kind of calculate what the state would be and store that calculated state. But however, that's very complicated. So if you think of thermostats, when I change the HVAC mode from heating to cooling, probably the target temperature is going to change, right? Well, that's not something we can calculate. It's not something we can predict when a person just changes a preset mode in the control. So we basically have to start making assumptions, and assumptions make an ass of you and me. So no, it just doesn't work, right? So we really had to restore that, and this is why people stop using scenes, because they would edit the scene. I mean, I saw it in the chat already, like my kid's bedroom, and then you edit while your kids are asleep.
Yeah.
Boom, their lights turn on because you're editing that scene.
Like that midnight tinkering, indeed. Like you're like everybody's asleep and you're still awake, and you're like, okay, I'm going to like mess around a little bit with my instance, and then accidentally clicking that scene that affects one of the child's bedrooms, and they just like in like full-blown light waking up because you added the scene. It happened to me a couple of times. It's horrible.
Yeah. But not anymore.
Yes.
So this is the big feature that Carwash and Martin fixed this release. Really cool. What happens is you open the scene editor, it now turns into a review mode. So you cannot make changes to devices or entities. You can make changes to the name, changes to the icon, these kind of things.
Okay. I had a demo, Frank, ready, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah, the demo. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Just because I have like the lights behind, but as you
sure, go ahead, please. If you have an actual light, then that works better. Here we go.
It's a small one. Go ahead. Yes. So I have a bunny there.
As you can see, we prepare this stuff really well.
Yes. I need to click on the right button. So scenes.
I like it.
Okay, so I have a scene that is called Colorful Bunny. Before this release, actually, this was also very confusing because there is nowhere written in this screen that something is going to happen. Something important is going to happen. When you are clicking on that thing, right, a line more or less, the scene was activating. Now, when you click on that, you are into review mode. And you can adjust a few things already from here, which is already pretty nice. For example, if I want to rename the scene, I could rename the scene and just, save. The bunny has never been turned on, and I just made a small update on the scene without going into edit mode. I can change the icon, I can change the area, and I can also remove. Can I? No, sorry, I cannot remove. My bad. Yes, I can.
Yeah, you could. Bug!
No, it's disabled.
We have a bug.
Whoa. the touch area is okay. So you can remove also devices from the scene
Wow.
in review mode.
That feature will come in 2 days.
The nice thing is that now I can click on live edits. If I click on live edits, this is when we are going to restore the state that is captured on the scene. So the bunny is going to turn specific color like pink, and I can do things. For example, I could say, well, this is not. I'm just going to zoom out a bit because the screen is a bit weird. I don't want it pink. I want it green.
Green bunnies.
Or
Yes.
save, and switch back to review mode. We are
And now it
restoring
turns
the
off.
state that we captured before. So now if
Perfect.
we go back to edit mode, more or less, it's going to be green, right? And I can even discard, so I could make changes like, I don't know, let's say blue, and I can say like, no, I don't want that, leave.
Nice.
And
The thing that I like the most about this is that you can go into a scene and actually assign it to a room without activating it, like or an area. I mean, and to change the name and things like that, like that
Yeah, like the
metadata
visual,
without
right?
like.
I think it's
Without actually
the most
activating it.
annoyance. Like the time I activated the most time, the use case where I was activating the most the scenes were when I was doing management of things. You know, renaming my stuff, reassigning my stuff to areas, changing icons. You know, I was opening all of the things. Oh, that scene doesn't have the correct icon. Let me click on it. Bam, everything activated. I was like, no, I mean, I don't want that. So yeah. That's more or less like the changes.
Sweet. So yeah, it's interesting, right? This is one of those things that we knew of this issue. We just never really had a solution or the priority or the time. And Carwash, he is an amazing contributor. Every release contains Carwash gems. Like
He really does.
he did copy and paste, I think, as well, Frank.
Sorry. Yes, copy and paste. Yeah,
It's one of
that's
his
work too.
so-
He will be mentioned a couple of times more this release, and I swear to God, there's another one in here that you're like, seriously, that wasn't in there. It's like that's his work in general. It's so cool.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Carwarts, for that, and also Martin, thank you for helping Carwarts out with the design and the UX here. They worked together on this, and it's really cool. So thank you.
Yeah, for the people that don't know Martin, it's actually really cool. He works full time on Home Assistant, works in Nabukasa, and he's a product designer. So nowadays, when there's like features like these, which are a bit more impactful, right? Like where we want to make sure that we get the right experience, then Martin teams up with like people that work on this feature, and they make sure that together they get like a nice polished experience.
Yep,
it's very cool.
Shall we show the YAML mode?
You want to talk about this other feature already?
No, I mean,
yes, the YAML in the scene. Yes.
Yes, I mean it's small, but I think we added it this release, right?
Yes, it's correct. There's another feature hidden in here. If you really like,
yeah, I would say like
right?
you need to know what you're doing. But if you go to a scene, so again, like the scene is capturing the state. So inside this scene, there is no thing that we say like turn on the bunny or turn off the bunny. We just say like that's the state I want to reach.
The bunny has to be on. Yeah.
Yes, and when you click on, like when you activate the scene, whether by clicking on that button or automation, voice, or dashboard, we just say, okay, that's the state I want to reach. Do it, right? And you can see the state actually if you click on the overflow menu, the three dot icon, and you go to YAML, you can see what we actually captured. So you can see, for example, somewhere there will be like the state here, state on, brightness, max, color, this.
So
if I want, I can even make changes there, right?
I don't know if RGB is the winning one or that HS is going to win.
Yeah, I don't know which one is going to win.
Mode.
So that's why, like, you need to know what you're doing because there is no winning.
Oh, yeah, it depends on the color. But yeah, lights are complicated.
Oh yeah, we'll start looking at thermostats then. Anyways, the door covers. Like these are like the complicated ones for real. But yeah, there's no YAML edit in here, which is really cool. Just like the automation and script editors have. So if that's your preferred way, you want to make like a very advanced tweak, you can now just do that from the UI instead of like opening up a secondary editor or go to disks and I don't know, whatever method you've been using can now be done there. Nice quality of life improvement.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it was
let's,
one of the most. I mean, not the most. I think it was one of the most feature requests around scene.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Must be. Yeah. So
I saw a question which I want to bring in, if you don't mind.
let's do it.
Yeah,
Can
I
I
was
update
going
a
to bring the same.
scene from within an automation?
So only temporary ones, right? So
Yes.
you can capture temporary automations. You cannot create permanent automation, permanent scenes.
We had a chat recently with Frank about that. We are thinking about.
In general, in Home Assistant, we do not allow you to change the Home Assistant configuration from automations. There's a few exceptions, like setting the location of your instance. We did that to support RVs and boats. Important.
Yes,
It's
it's true. It's
But-
actually really true.
Yeah.
Moving
But
house.
generally, we don't have support for these kind of
So they-
International Space Station.
There, like, while you cannot make permanent scenes and edit the scenes you see and you just saw, right? The creating the snapshots or scenes on the fly, like those snapshots right in time, is actually really helpful, because you could write an automation where you capture the current state of your living room.
I can show you. I
Then-
can show one if you
Then
want.
change something happening, like, I don't know, blink the lights because somebody rang the doorbell and like make them red or whatnot. And after 5 seconds, return it back to the previous snapshot of scene that you created on the fly to restore everything in the state it was before you started blinking all the lights, right? So they're very, very,
Yeah,
well, there are a
pretty
lot of useful use cases for that.
Yeah. There's
do you want to see
somebody
how it
here-
looks in an automation? This?
You have it?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's somebody asking in the comments if we can show how to capture a scene. I don't know if you just want to open the DevTools or just
I was
Yeah.
going to show how to create a scene on the automation.
Oh,
okay.
So like you don't really care about the context, but like that's the automation where I'm watching a movie. The first thing I'm doing is I'm creating a scene. Like I'm capturing all of my entities. Like these are all lights. There is a cover there in the middle. I'm capturing everything. I'm just putting a name. Cinema previous light state. I don't know why I'm calling it lights. I think because before it was only lights. Then I'm doing a bunch of things. I'm turning on scenes, closing the cover if it's not dark outside, many things. And then I just wait for movie mode to be off. And when it's off, I'm just reactivating the scene.
back to the previous.
Now, like
state
I can
before
have
the
like the whole
automation
living
started.
room, I don't know, blue, dimmed, cover half opened and whatever. If I start to watch a movie, everything is going to be captured. Everything is going to go into movie mode. When I stop the movie, everything goes back to blue, dimmed, cover half open.
Excellent.
Yeah, I mean it's small things, but it's usually like I would say usually it's when you have like a nice automation, and at the end you think like I wish I was able to go back to. This is when you use a scene like this kind of scenes. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I feel like you use what is nice about scenes is that you don't have to, you just store this is my normal mode or whatever. You don't have to store it in your video mode automation. You just say, we're going to go back to the previous mode, whatever, when it's done, period.
Yep.
Wait, Frank, you broke.
You broke
I'm not
your-
broke. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Does it work?
We're so back.
We're so back. No, I wanted to say like the scenes is. I think scene is one of the hidden gems. It's a bit of a weird thing actually, but it is very, very powerful, very useful, and can
I
actually make
wonder
the animation
sometimes-
a lot easier.
I wonder sometimes if we should not have called it scenes. Like, I think is it inspired by you? I mean, I picked the name, but like, I don't fully remember, right? I think in you, it was called scenes back in the day. I don't know if do you remember the way Philips Hue had this actually in the original app?
Yeah.
You would see a picture of a sunset at a beach and you would drag these colored sliders on top of the photo.
Yeah.
Yep.
True.
But of course,
don't know.
with slides, that's easy mode.
I don't know where how it's original. If it's the right name, I think we've once discussed different names, right? Like some call it now moods. Also weird snapshots, but that's also
Snapshots.
like weird. Yeah, but it also feels so tacky, right? It's like
Yeah.
taking a backup snapshot of your BTRFS this file system or something. It doesn't. It's for me like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, scene and mood all capture the same kind of intention. Like I have a certain idea of how things should look,
Yeah.
but that's not per se,
But that's the thing. Like you can put thermostat in your. It's not only about ambient things like light
Exactly,
and colors and
yeah.
things. Like,
Yeah.
it should be like a capture, more or less, like a capture.
Yeah.
That's
In
again,
programming, we call it declarative programming. So maybe it should just be declarative control.
No, don't make it more than that.
but it's state.
Activate declarative control. This sounds
Yeah.
so user friendly. Let's not.
State shots. Yeah.
State shots.
All right. Hey, let's. This is 30
Wow,
minutes
that's
into for scenes. So
Yes.
if we want to finish today, this year,
No.
I think this is about it then, right?
Yeah, it's about it.
Right. Is there like, are we going to talk about hardware then?
We're
hardware.
going to talk about voice. I guess that we cannot.
Oh, we're going to talk about voice. Okay. Yes, that's okay. Sorry.
So just like there's a lot of voice fixes, improvements, quality of life improvements in this release, and maybe you haven't heard of it, but one of the things that we're preparing for is the launch of like this Home Assistant voice hardware in 15 days, December 19, same channel, same time. And we've done a lot of quality of life improvements. Partially, we've done this ourselves, partially the community did, because we have already created 1,000 voice hardware and we have distributed those to all the Home Assistant language leaders, the people that have been working on the Home Assistant voice stuff for the last 2 years. And so the Home Assistant Creator Network, they have already received the hardware. And so everybody has been playing with it, providing us with feedback. The language leaders are fixing stuff left and right. They're providing us also with just like, hey, doesn't work nicely. We've been fixing that as well. Super stoked about the progress. There's been like a huge polishing kind of like movement in the last month and a half. And so we can already see some of the results in this release. So I think I'm just going to give it to JLO. I think you've got a great demo.
I have a few demos, yes. We start from the top, I guess.
Yes.
Start from the top. So just before, I'm going to make a demo. I'm going to try to do it by voice. My microphone may break. Just you tell me if it breaks. We'll do it by text. Yeah, I'm sorry, I tried like 2 minutes before, and having 2 tabs that are sharing the microphone, I don't know, doesn't work on my side.
Yeah. If only you had like dedicated hardware to talk to.
Yeah, I guess it would be simpler, but I want to show the answers, etc. So okay, let's start, and let's try. I will try to give backstories. I will try to make it in less than 1 hour. No, I'm joking.
I do have backup videos uploaded.
Yeah,
right
I saw
now
it. So
in
yeah,
the
perfect.
system, so.
Perfect. Okay, so voice. The Home Assistant ships with a default conversation agents. That's the brain, more or less, the brain. And the brain, the role is to match sentences, like what you say, to what you want to do, to intents. It's powered by the community, language leaders, the one that Paulus talks about. They are working, making sure that more sentences are supported in your language. So you talk, the agents, the brain, understands and replies. And it is done locally on your hardware. It is designed to be to run on like very fast hardware. Very cheap hardware. So it's fast. It's local. It is not that flexible and it will never be that flexible because again, it is based on a set of sentences, and we are making sure that we are not bloating it with too many things. So you can ask to turn on the light, but you cannot ask who was the last president of the United States. There are things that it cannot do, and it will always be like that. So that's like, I would say, word number 1. Let's make a demo. Let me just, like, I want to illustrate what I'm saying. So this is where my microphone can break. So this is word number 1, which is the default conversation agent. I'm just going to say like a few comments. You will see a few things. Some of them are going to fail. Just focus on the speed and the accuracy of the response, more or less. All right, let's try. Turn on the bunny.
Sorry, I am not aware of any device called the.
Sorry. Can you still hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let's try. Turn on the bunny.
Turned on the light.
All right.
Nice.
Set the bunny to blue.
Color set.
Okay.
Nice.
Turn
and
off
fast.
the bunny.
Sorry, I am not.
Turn off the bunny.
Sorry, I am not.
Turn off the bunny.
Turned off the light.
That's just my accent, by the way. Sorry for that. Let's try just 2 more comments. What year was Home Assistant created?
Sorry, I couldn't understand that.
What day was the first Home Assistant commit?
Sorry, I am not aware of any area called what day was.
I love that response. Right, so you can see like so that's word one, super fast. It should work well if you are trying in your native language. So it works better for me in French. And it is focused on house control. So you turn on lights, you open covers, you set timers, you turn on the TV, change the volume, go to the next song, etc., etc. Exactly 6 months ago, 2024.6, we introduced another way of controlling your home, which is changing the brain, so like a brain transplant, and changing it to an AI-based brain, LLM-based brain. I'm not going to go too much into detail about what is a LLM. It's a fancy AI model. And this allows you to be much more flexible, much more flexible. I'm just going to go to this mode. I'm going to make the same comment. I would like you to focus on the speed, if it does things, and yeah, more or less the speed. So let's try. Turn on the bunny.
The bunny light has been turned on.
Set the bunny to red.
The bunny light has been set to red.
Turn off the bunny.
Can you ask
The
it
bunny
to
light has been turned off.
turn on all lights that have ears?
Turn on all the lights that have ears.
Please specify an area where you'd like me to turn on all the lights.
All of the areas.
That's risky.
I'm alone, it's fine. No, it turned
This is Hold
I've
on.
turned on the lights in the following areas.
Nah, I didn't.
Salon.
Yeah.
Cuisine. Entree. Chamber. Chamber Mary Lou. Bunny in Chamber Mary Lou. One attempt to turn on a light encountered an issue.
Right, cool. So it's very slow. I mean, it's slower. It works, but you can do things like this. For example, what year was Home Assistant created? Sorry.
Digital assistant.
What year was Home Assistant created?
Home Assistant was created in 2013.
11
What day
years.
was the first Home Assistant commit? Committee.
The first Home Assistant conference, called
Wait, now your microphone broke, JLo.
1 second. Just fix
So,
it.
JLo did now the LLM he was using was a slower one. I mean, this is more to make it very clear how the demo. You can
you
pick
hear me?
slightly faster LLM. Yeah, you're back.
Sorry, yes. Yeah, so the LLM I've been using is a bit heavy, so it's supposed to be accurate. The demo was not perfectly working. It's fine. And yeah, so you saw more or less, it's like, and this was the two words that we are providing until today. So you can use our default agent and it's fast, but it's not flexible. Or you can use an LLM and it's very flexible. You can use whatever you want and you can make crazy queries, but it's slow because, well, it's an LLM. And it's not only slow, actually, it also costs money. You can see it from different places. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen so you can see us bigger. But either you are like a more local kind of approach, like local approach kind of user, and you want to use like Ollama with a local model. This costs money upfront, so you need hardware to be able to run this effectively. Or you are kind of more like the I'm okay to experiment with cloud approach. This was cloud-based. This was GPT-4o, and this costs money. Not upfront, but it costs money. So eventually, it's always a bit slower, costs money. And the fact that the thing that I was not really happy about is that, yes, we make cool demos with that. Like the demos are cool. We can really ask crazy things. Like for example, I can ask like, I want to stretch my legs. I'm on a meeting and my standing desk raises. I can act like I'm in a meeting, but people don't see my face. Can you help me? And it turns on the face lights that I'm using right now to light my face. It's cool, but like in a production, like real life scenario, you don't ask that. You just ask, turn on my lights. So it was kind of like a lot of cost for maybe 20% of results, but the 80 other percent, like the turn on that, close this, was slower, costing money, etc., etc. So now we are basically allowing you to mix these two worlds. So you are able to configure a voice assistant in a way that I'm going to show you how to do it right now, where you can say if the sentence is known locally by the default brain, the agent, please do that. And if you don't, delegate to something that is more flexible, that has more processing power, LLM, whether it's local or not, actually, right? So, and this actually solves everything. So you can say, turn on the lights, it's going to be super fast. And you can say, hey, when was Home Assistant created? And it's going to just take a bit more time and answer, yeah, in 2013, which is actually super nice. You can have like very nice conversation with your house, and it's a house with two brains, more or less. A fast one that is not flexible, or less flexible, even if, again, the language nerds are working hard, and a slow one, costly, again, however you want to see the cost, but costly, that is extremely flexible.
Yeah. Well, show it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Right. So I'm going to show it first of all, and then I'm going to show you how to do that. So GPT plus fallback. So let's just do like a few less commands so that I'm sure that I'm not messing it up. So turn
When
on
it's
the
fast, it's local.
Could you please specify what you'd like to turn on?
Turn on the bunny.
Turned on the light.
Can you still hear me, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this was basically processed locally, very fast. Turn off the bunny.
Turned off the light.
Pretty fast also. Set the bunny to blue.
Color set.
Okay. When was Home Assistant created?
Home Assistant was
Ooh.
created by Paula Schoutsen and was first released in September 2013.
Turn
Yep.
off the bunny.
Turned off the light.
So-
Perfect. No, now you killed your microphone. So, but yeah, what you saw is that like all the commands that could just be locally matched, boom, are instant because they're locally matched. Anything that isn't matched, like questions, we will forward it to ChatGPT or whatever LLM you've set up. So you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And let me show you how to. You can see. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Let me show you
Yes.
how to configure that. It's super simple. It's like one small toggle, more or less. And then we can talk about a bit my experience, etc. Because we've been running that for a long time, and I have a lot of things to say. It's very, very nice. It seems small, but it's a very nice improvement long term. All right. So, okay, let's start. First of all, you need a AI-based conversation agent. We have 4 providers that are providing you that. Normally, you should. I will show you the whole thing, but it's the last step that is interesting for the new feature. But I just want you not to be lost in all of that. So we have 4 providers for LLMs. They are Anthropic, that provides Claude, OpenAI, that provides all of the GPT family of LLMs. Google AI that provides all of the Gemini LLM family, and Ollama. Ollama is a provider that provides a lot of local options.
All local options, right? I think Ollama is really just a wrapper around every local model that you can think of. So it has the Llama family, the Qwen family, Mixtral. We have a whole benchmark suite. You can show which local ones are good, which cloud ones are good.
Whatever I'm showing right now works with all of them. The only exception is that if you're using Ollama, you need a model that supports function calling. Sorry, you need to know what it is, but basically the model needs to be able to call tools to say like turn on the light and turn off the lights. If you don't have this, then the model will be able to converse, but will not be able to just turn on your lights.
That is what controls the stuff in Home Assistant. Right?
Exactly.
That's the
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so I have already one. It's OpenAI. I have a bunch of them actually.
yeah.
Wow.
it's fine. So this is like step one, and here actually there is nothing new. So this is the provider of LLM, OpenAI. This is one conversation agent, which is called Pirate GPT, and this is its configuration. You're a drawing pirate, you control my home. For you, it's your ship, same character. And then you can just say like, you control my home, you don't control my home. I know it's a bit stupid, but yes, I gave control to my home to a drawing pirate. Nothing new there. It's just like the conversation. That's the brain, right? Like again, I was telling you like it's the assistant has two brains. So that's one brain. I have a drawing pirate that control my home. Good, perfect. Voice assistant. You go to voice assistant. I see a brain that is laughing. And in the assistant, you pick your brain, conversation agent, Pirate GPT. And now we have this. Prepare handling commands locally. A command will be first sent to the local conversation agent. If the local conversation agent does not handle the command, it will be sent to the selected agent. Just toggle it. By the way, if you create a new assistant today, it's toggled by default. It's already on.
Yeah.
And that's it. So if I do this, now my drunk pirate is able to fall back to the conversation agents by default. And if I do this, then everything will be always sent to the drunk pirate, even if I just say, turn on the bunny.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah,
Exactly.
this is really, we made it super easy, but we did make sure it only applies to assist pipeline. So if you still interact using an action directly with a conversation agent,
Exactly,
you
yeah.
get the raw resource. You just talk to ChatGPT.
Exactly, yeah. Because you can act on many things. You can act on the brain and you can act on the assistant. So the assistant is the one that is handling the two brains, or you can talk to the brain directly.
Yeah.
What I can say so far is okay. So that's just like okay. I have the feeling that we have two types of assistant in our house, at least in mine. We have like what I'm going to say serious assistants, the one that I really want to use every day. They usually have like a very simple personality, like for example this one, which is just it's the default one. Like there is nothing inside. And this one, usually, basically, you want to use them in production. Having the fallback is perfect. Like, it's super cool. If you spend time crafting a specific character, like you are creating Santa Claus for your kids or a drawing pirate, then just know that if you are allowing the command to go to the default brain, you will not get the nice answers that you're expecting. So, for example, if I ask my drunk pirates to turn on the bunny light, I'm going to have the bunny light turn on, but I'm going also to have like a nice response. So it's up to you more or less to decide.
Right, it never reaches the LLM.
Exactly, it never reaches.
It will
right?
not.
So,
it will never talk as a drunk pirate.
Exactly. Yeah. I can show you, for example, so today it's not. So everything goes to the drunk pirate. If I say, I'm not going to say it because I'm going to break my mic again. But if I say, turn on the bunny, like this. So the bunny is going to turn on, but then I'm going to have like a nice, like a nice, funny.
Yep.
So if I'm creating this specifically to be in character, it's super cool, right? If I want to optimize speed, costs, etc., I can just say, okay, fall back. If I do this and I say turn off the bunny, even if it's the drawing pirate, then I'm going to have just like, okay, turn off the light. So it depends on what you want to do. And from my experience, like if it's a very serious assistant that you want to use in your house, it's perfect. It's just so cool. If you are creating a character for your kids, Santa Claus, for example, right? We are in this period, then maybe it's not the best idea. So, it's up to you.
My kids love playing with ChatGPT with yet to be announced hardware.
For me, the success story is still like the old-fashioned phone that I have on my desk with a character in it, Mario. Yeah, such a phone as you have in the background, indeed, and then me being able to talk to it. But I do have a question though. Still, like if you have like this pirate one, right, and with fallback LLM, you can say turn on the bunny. And it will turn it on and it will bypass the LLM. Does the context of LLM then still know later on that what happened? Like if I then say like turn it off again, will it then understand?
So in terms of limitation, that's one limitation. It's really two brains, two paths. So yes, exactly. So for example, here if I say turn on the bunny, fallback is on. So that goes directly to the brain of Home Assistant. The parrot is not aware of that. If I say turn eat back off, it's going to tell me in a drunk way. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you just talked about the bunny too, so it probably gets it.
Yeah, no, it turned off.
Oh no, there was not.
I don't know
You're
what
right.
it turned off, but everything. That's cool. Everything.
Oh.
So yeah.
That's
Be
what you get for a
careful
drunk
with
pirate,
LLMs,
right?
people. This is like
My house is a mess. Everything is.
Live demos is the best, especially with production systems. Awesome.
But no, so we've explored combining conversation history and basically make it like a common thing. We're not there yet. So this is something that maybe we'll get in a future release where we can combine this. It was also the first comment on the release notes, like, hey, this doesn't work. And we know. We're building it up in pieces, right? Like as always, we build things in the open, iterate. So I think this is something we can solve. It would be cool if you could even like spread it out, right? Like our original ideas that we had brainstormed together with NVIDIA was like, you have a kind of an index agent that gets the first query, and then based on what you're asking, you can forward it to different agents that have different instructions with different tools to handle different cases. For example, we haven't built that yet, right? So getting it, but you would need something like a generic conversation history across agents to get this kind of working. So I think in general, the last few months has been really focused on non-AI stuff, the last 2-3 months. Because the hardware had to be polished up. And when I look at our hardware, we don't aim for LLMs. Like it's a feature, but we're not really promoting it because right now it's not easy to set up an LLM in Home Assistant. As in, it is easy if you just need a credit card and get an API key. But those two, like, not everybody knows even what an API key is, right? So it's a bit more tricky. It's not clear exactly what happens with your data. It's not exactly clear, like, it turns on all the lights, all that stuff, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We need
there is one
better.
thing that I want. Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
No, go ahead.
We need a bit better. You can just present this to users and say, just control your whole house like this. Like, it doesn't work. So we need a bit better control over that, or a bit more guardrails.
So, exactly, perfect. The last comment is exactly what I wanted to talk about. What is the average cost of ChatGPT command via
Good
Assist?
question.
There is something I want to say, which is very cool. I still need to experiment a bit to give you the exact answer, but something to think about. We are providing a recommended model when you integrate the agent for the first time. And for every provider, they all have the same kind of models. Even if they are not the same, they always have the same kind of model. There is like a flagship model, which is usually expensive, and there is a smaller model, which usually gets the job done for simpler things. So on OpenAI, it's going to be called 4o Mini, Gemini Flash for Google, Claude Haiku for Anthropic. You don't care about the names. That's the one we recommend. So if you don't change anything, that's the model we recommend, especially because of cost, right? I have the feeling that if you use fallback, you can actually go to the flagship model because you use it way less. And so since a week, I've been running my house with the default agent and 4o. 4o is expensive, but it's very, very good, except in this demo because, right? But it's very good. And I think like since 1 week, it's like 30 cents because I'm using it only for fallbacks, right? That's the cool thing. The last time I tried like the whole LLM things, 4o cost me $16 in 4 days because I was testing it. Because I was testing it a lot. Like I'm always turning on lights and closing covers in my home, and everything was going to the agents. Now it's not the case anymore. So I have the feeling that you may want to. You could actually experiment with going to the flagship model.
Yeah. So Frank, you're asking, isn't it too slow? And like
like 4o is slower, right, than the Mini. So it's like even though the cost is then like still like okay-ish, wouldn't the 4o like be that annoying? Like even if it does a fallback, right, then it's still like.
So let me just show you like so that's 4o. Let's just like do two. Okay, that's 4o. That's 4o. By the way, the answer is correct. Let me just now go to 4o Mini. Integration. Oh no, sorry. Device and services. OpenAI. So 4o Mini is simple. It's just the recommended settings. That's it. Recommended settings is 4o Mini. So now it's 4o Mini. So first of all, it's wrong, and I don't really see a difference. Again, like 4.0 mini and 4.0, you really start to see the difference if you start
Right.
to push it a bit more. So if I say like turn on a light, it's working. If I start to say like, is it colder outside or inside? And if it's the case, can you turn on the thermostat? 4.0 mini starts to fall off the rails, whereas 4.0 takes more time but actually give an answer.
Yeah.
So it's really,
okay.
it's really what, yeah, I mean, experiment with it. But I would say with the fallback in place, at least the costs are on track.
Yeah, I think controlling things with an LLM is also like a two interaction mode. So you talk to an LLM, the LLM says, I want to call this tool. We call the tool, we send the result to the LLM gives you the text,
Yeah,
right?
it's a
That's
two-round
also
trip every
something we
time.
still need to optimize, but even like half a second slowness per one LLM interaction means 1 second on the end. And
Yeah.
with voice, like now it's chat, we're all looking, it's fine. With voice, every millisecond counts.
I always find it so annoying that like I use the LLM, by the way. I don't use the fallback yet, which I apparently should because it just saves me money. But what I find annoying is that it often, if it slightly misunderstands you, it starts to hallucinate, right? That's something an LLM can do. And it often results in the things that you didn't expect. So like JLo demoed it happened to, right? And it's I don't know. I think it's cool to have the fallback here because it's not just about like being quicker for me, I guess, or less expensive. I think it would be, especially for the standard commands you shout, I think it might be more accurate.
Yeah, I would say, I think for me, like for now, today, the way to go is really to bulletproof our default agents and then to have an LLM for, I would say, fun. And also because it's actually a nice demo being able, like this weekend, I had guests coming at home and I entered, I said like, turn on the light instantly. I was like, oh, that's cool, what it is. And I said like, hey, can you present yourself? And the only thing I said in the prompt was like, your name is Nabu. And then he started saying, hey, I'm Nabu, I'm the voice assistant of this house. You can ask me things, etc. And they were like super impressed. So the fallback actually works for these kind of things. It's cool. Yeah, it's a very nice addition.
So you showed the new hardware to other people already then?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I made it sign in the.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. Just to wrap up voice, because like the sentence triggers are now always active on Assist pipeline. Sentence triggers is where you register your own sentences. So if you want to be able to say the cat is out of the bag, and then like have something be done in your house, you can register it. Do an automation, new trigger, register that sentence. You can even use a templating language to like capture more sentences. An Assist pipeline talking to an LLM will now also execute these. So that way it will, your sentences, you register them, they're yours.
Yeah.
You control it. No more bypass.
That's nice, actually.
Yes. Yeah.
So then, oh, wait, because then you can make your automation triggers, even with LLM, they will still just work.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. With the fallback, yes. Yeah.
Yep.
So I can now actually use party mode.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
create like a sentence trigger. You just call it party mode. You do something. I'm just going to turn on lights. That's the only thing I'm going to do. I'm just going to turn on the bunny just because it's simpler. Save. I don't care for now. Party mode. And now it's like that's the fallback. And if I do like a party mode, it's on.
Done.
I didn't change the default response, so it's done. I could change the default response if I want, but like
that's the
took me 2
automation.
minutes, and it's still like it's like this is still plugged to LLM, right? I can say, who are you? Who are you? You okay? Fine, and you know, like it replies. So it's still the full fallback, but with like sentence trigger. So yeah, it's
that's nice. That's super nice. Okay, awesome.
I was thinking,
I need to do more with this voice stuff.
Yeah. We've done one more change that actually didn't make the release notes because it's kind of small, but it's also kind of big, is that we've changed how scripts work. So when you activate a script from an LLM, the LLM will not always have access to the response. So you could have an LLM to fetch the weather, to fetch traffic, send that data to the LLM, and you should be able to ask, how long is my traffic to go home? And it can calculate that for you, for example.
Again, like I'm looking at the time. I do have a demo ready for that. I'm afraid that it's going to take a bit of time because we need to explain all of it. But
if you want to learn more about this and so much more, tune back in December 19th.
Perfect.
It would be nice if we had hardware with going
Yeah,
with
we
that.
should-
By the
Yeah,
way.
would be nice.
Anyone could try this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
No,
missed it,
I can show a
it's-
piece of the voice. Yeah, I have
No.
this.
Wow. That's saying all of it.
This is
the
an
reveal.
original piece.
Which you broke off, right?
No,
It's
Wait,
that
I need
piece,
to do-
right?
I was 3D printing a new. We're releasing the 3D files as well, of course. So I was. Oh, you're all, oh. Yeah. So I was 3D printing a new case, new color for my one of the voice assistants as a test to make sure that our 3D files work correctly. So anyway, that was a piece.
Yes.
No,
Very good.
Correct.
Yeah, but now I broke it a little bit, but now we're gonna have a better tutorial because of that.
You know, I
You're
think that's actually true. Yeah, you broke it, you made it, took it all apart, found what not to do.
But
Paulus,
in the end,
Paulus
just
found a piece of his voice assistant on the floor like one day later, and it's like, hey, what's that?
Yeah. Then I fix it again. Put it back in. Yeah. Cool.
all right. Do we have more?
Mm.
There is like a big yes, we have more, but it's going to be like videos that I won't do them because they are complex to show.
Yeah.
But like now we talked about all of these brains things, etc. So you have a bit of context. The default brain, so it has a name. We don't really care. Has been built again like from the ground up to run on cheap hardware, and then we started to add more and more features, more sentences. And you have to understand that the way the brain works is more or less like a big tree, and you say a sentence, and we try to walk this tree to find an answer. If we find an answer, it's nice. If we don't, well, first of all, we don't know that we didn't find the answer until we walk the whole tree. So usually when you say something that we don't understand, it's a bit longer because we have to walk the whole tree to understand that we didn't find it. And adding more and more sentences, especially more part of the sentence that can take a lot of inputs, timers with times and wildcards, like add beer to my shopping list. These things blew the size of the tree. And we noticed that it was becoming longer and longer to fail. So when you say something that doesn't, that is misunderstood, it was taking longer and longer to fail. It is important because you saw it. Failing this is the entry point to the fallback of the LLM. You need to fail the first three to be able to say like, I don't understand, so go to the LLM. In some language, on some hardware, so we are talking about cheap hardware, maybe like a Raspberry Pi 3, things like this. And also if you have like a very big system, I'm talking like thousands and thousands of entities, in some language, it was taking 15 seconds to fail.
I saw the
And
numbers.
we have a video about that. And this was like, by the way, just before you do the video, mute your voice assistant. In this one, there is a wake word, just so you know. And we fixed that. And it's...
I mean my hardware here.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Mute your hardware.
I mean my hardware.
We basically Mike the voice Hansen has been more or less redesigning from scratch the way we are matching the sentences. And on top of that, the language leader, they worked very hard in trying to reduce their tree, right? Again, it's a tree of sentence. Some of them saw reduction of like 99% of the size of the tree. Just
I
by
saw trees with billions of possible ways.
Yeah, so for example, I think German is the worst. We went from 7 trillion sentence
Wow.
to a few million.
Wow.
French also was the second biggest. We went from like 1.2 trillion to like 57 million. Like that's like huge improvement. So this plus the fact that Mike redesigned more or less the default, the way we are matching the logic, the sentence to the intent, leads to the video that Frank is going to show you, which is
Yeah, that would be this one, I guess. Going to try. Hope
Yeah.
to trigger nothing. Here we go.
Okay, Nabu. Turn on the space lamp.
Sorry, I am not aware of any device called Space Lamp.
That was an instant error. By the way, you're looking at the S3 box. This is our previous development platform. before, of course, we're going to replace this with the cooler hardware. There you go.
I like the fact that Police was able to make the whole marketing hook while the yes.
Yeah.
So like that's the difference, right? And by the way, just I had to bloat my system. Like I added 5,000 entity to my system to be able to have like the 15 second on the first one. But still, people were having that because they have way bigger system than me. And imagine that with a fallback now. You can say like, hey, when was my system created? Now we have to walk the 7 trillion tree before being able to say, I don't understand that. So let's go to the LLM, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. First of all, we're wrapping up voice now, I think, because otherwise we're not gonna get to all the other topics. Second, please like the stream plus subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, that like there.
The more subscribers we have, the more likes, the more people will get to see this video and our future videos, like for example, December 19 live stream. You would want to be notified about that one. And while we have you all here, if you like what we're doing and you want to support our work, please subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud by Nabukasa. It funds the development of Home Assistant. It pays the salaries of people working on it full time, including all the amazing people you see on the stream right now. And there are no investors. There's no external money. Everyone in Nabukasa works only for the users, only for the Open Home Foundation. So subscribe. Then we keep doing what we're doing, and everybody is happy. So if you like what we're doing, please.
Yes. And it funds this. I can show that because we already teased it in one of the blog posts.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah.
What is this? I don't know.
What is
What's
that?
happening?
It's a beautiful picture. That's what it
I have
is.
no
It's
idea
a
what it is.
lovely picture.
Okay.
I'm putting it so on top of this. If somebody misses this, like, come on. Then you're just like, come on.
Yeah.
And 19th December, tune in and like subscribe to the channel, hit the bell down below. And while you're at it, like do the thumbs up as well. So then you get notified of the great stuff. And by giving it a thumbs up, everybody knows like this video is great and other people should watch it too. That's how YouTube works, right? It's an algorithm and whatnot. So it would be nice if you do that. Slowly becoming a running gag here. It's fine.
Yeah. Good.
I think we had everything voice related. At this point, I'm quickly going through my notes. I guess.
Yeah, we should, even if we haven't, we should just move on to the next topic. There's people out here that are like, I don't care. I use dashboards. I want to automate everything. I just want to use the phone app. So let's.
All right. No, I think we have one big topic left in this release I want to talk about. And
before we get there, Frank, I see somebody asking any news on our Z-Wave controller, which is the Z-Wave hardware that we've talked about before. We are working on it. It's not going to come this year. It is going to come next year for sure. That's a commitment already, but no, we'll definitely make it next year.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah. No, it will be there. It will be awesome. It will be the best antenna you've ever seen. So including support you have long range, Europe, US, everything.
The hint is thus that the 19th, it will not be a Z-Wave device then.
No, the 19th is voice. Somewhere next year will be Z-Wave. I would say I just said in 2025, I can shrink that down to the first half of 2025. That's the goal. But that's as narrow as I want to commit. Because
I'm not saying anything at this point. I feel like we're cutting ourselves at some point if we start like narrowing it further down.
I was going to say he's watching this, clutching his
and he's like,
saying, no doubt.
We are doing our best to ship it as fast as possible, but we've been working hard on shipping something on the 19th this month.
Yeah.
So you should definitely tune into that and forget about the rest. That's the first thing you should tune into, because I think it's to wrap up voice. That's the thing we've been waiting for. I've been using it. It's going to be stunning. You definitely want to see this. Yeah. It is something new.
And by the way, just to give a bit more teaser, there's some other cool stuff coming in between, not for hardware, software wise. We have some cool features lined up for the next few releases that we're working on. But let's get back to this release.
Yes. So I want to talk about a completely different subject, and that is integration quality. Yeah, how do we introduce this, Paulus? Somewhere back in 2018.
Yeah, I
Actually,
think. Well,
you
it's
did.
been interesting when we, the integration quality skill, right? It's a
Yeah.
It's a skill. It's a list of requirements about. We always have this thing in Home Assistant where we develop in the open, right? Like we get a contributor that adds a new integration. We don't expect them to integrate and do everything perfectly right from the start. In fact, we actually have a very low bar for initial integrations because it is very hard to start something. It's very easy or way easier to work on something to fix a bug or add a model. But the hard work is on the initial plumbing. And so we want to keep that bar for the initial plumbing very low. But once it's there, once the integration can be set up and connect to your account, to your device, to your hub, after that, we need to be able to have a plan on where it should be. What is our ultimate goal? And so we create the integration quality skill in mind with, we need to be able to handle when we disconnect. Like if you have a Philips Hue hub and the Philips Hue hub disconnects from the Wi-Fi, the integration needs to show the device is unavailable and not like take Home Assistant down. Sounds like a logical thing, but it's good to write down because then nobody forgets it, right? Like maybe the authentication gets revoked, your password changes, a service cannot collect anymore. We should be able to handle that. That's kind of like the very basic error handling. And then we slowly started adding some more rules and levels. So we had like silver, we had gold. Gold was like, this is the best user experience. Platinum has always been, this is the highest code quality. So as a user, you wouldn't per se notice things usage-wise from Platinum versus Gold, but code-wise, everything is more robust, reliable. So when things go bad, maybe you would notice it slightly, but probably not.
Yep.
But this thing got outdated. Like,
Yeah, the story started in 2018, right? And at that time, like Home Assistant was way more of a technical platform, basically, right? It was way more tech savvy. There was no UI. Well, there was UI, but not something where you could do stuff in or configure integrations or like stuff like that didn't exist yet at that point. And yeah, it was that outdated, basically, the scale that we had from that time. And it needed a refresh, but it was hard to do. We didn't have any procedures to add new rules and think about these things. So I think a few months back, Joost actually started with a question to our community or development community with, hey, if we would have designed like a scale of quality for an integration, right? If we would have defined an integration, like the best integration we can think of, what are the checkboxes we can check off on this? What are the rules we can come up with? And yeah, that's how it started. It started with a huge discussion of all the things we can do and could check of making the best integration possible. And slowly people started joining, like more people in our community, integration owners, but not just that, and also people working on the development of, or the development, working on the documentation side of things. UX designers jumped in, people from product for Nabokasa jumped in, and we started to basically set out all the possible checkboxes we could think of for the perfect integration that works the best for everyone, right? And then we're talking about such a wide scale that it's no longer just code or error handling or anything like that, but it's also then user experience, things like translations, icons, how it looks in the UI, how it works, the stability, is it documented, what device can I use? Lots of these things. And the truth is, we ended up with such a big list that we actually didn't know how to scale it, if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. I don't know, actually. But we had so many rules that we couldn't define that on the scales we had. So we've been writing up a new scale. Literally, we redefined the scale as it is. It looks a little bit like the old one, but it's still different. Maybe it's best if I just bring up the different tiers with the little texts. Let me see.
You're not sharing your screen, just so you know.
Yeah, I know.
While you do that, it's interesting to know we've actually did a full reset, right? So every
Yes.
integration has been reset, and we're applying. There's no grandfathering in, except such edge case, which I'll get to in a bit. But like, it's all reset. We're recalculating every integration. Every integration owner has to apply and go through the checklist, such that it's all sure that it passes.
So to set up this new list, we always had silver, gold, and platinum, but we changed the meaning a little bit and we added bronze into the mix. And bronze we've created as the new, like the default where every single new integration that's been added to Home Assistant should comply with. This is the basic set of rules that we require every integration to have. And it contains modern day things like being able to set up from the UI. Like that's something people and you probably watching this nowadays expect from a Home Assistant integration, right? You expect it to be able to be set up through the UI. So from that perspective, like the basic documentation should be there. It should be documented how you set it up, things like that, covered in bronze nowadays. Then we went for silver, and silver is all about robustness of the integration. It should just work. It should be able to handle errors. It should be able to handle downtime of your internet connection. If your automation fails, like if you turn on the light and the light wouldn't turn on, or the actual protocol underneath it fails, it should report that back correctly. And things like that is all handled in Silver nowadays. With Silver also comes documentation on known problems, troubleshooting guides, how to debug things and submit issues and provide data. So that it's all about creating the best integration possible in terms of robustness. Then we go to gold, and gold is literally the gold end user standard. This is the thing that everybody expects from the perfect integration from a user perspective. This means full-blown documentation with examples. This means how to uninstall it. This means use cases described in the documentation on how you can use this, but also translations in the UI, nice device classes, long-term statistics support for things like energy sensors, right, on your wall plug. All these things are covered in gold. Gold is literally giving you the best user experience we can provide from Home Assistant for an integration at this point in time, and has tons of rules. And last but not least, there's platinum. And if it's platinum, it's not just like shiny on the outside, it's also shiny on the inside. It's like flipping open the hood of a car and looking at that polished engine there. It's looking really good under the hood as well. It doesn't change the user experience. Well, it could be, because it's also like maybe performance-wise, like really good, and also a requirement there. But still, it's not changing much of the user experience, but still really good to achieve. So this is the new set of skills we're introducing as of today, and are effective. And as Paul has indeed said, this is a huge change in the amount of rules underneath all of these skilled tiers. Vastly changed towards what it was before.
Just to show how thorough we have been documenting every rule, can you just open like Gold or something and click on a rule?
Yes, so I have the whole skill here for me in the developer documentation. This is the more extensive description of.
No, I actually I want to dig one level deep, because there's all these rules under every level, right? Like they can see these are all the rules, right? And every rule has a unique identifier and a unique page. So if you click on one unique config entry, for example, you can see we have why does this rule exist? Example how you can fulfill this rule with code samples in there, explaining every little bit. And this really helps developers understand why they should do it, how they can do it. And it will just really help in developers being successful, right? And the more contributors, because let's be honest, a lot of integrations are maintained by contributors, the more contributors can be successful, either as custom integration built in, doesn't matter, the better the user experience, right? So all of this is going to be resulting in a great user experience. There's also kind of a secret future forward-looking thing here that I believe is once LLMs can get trained on this, on our rule set, we could actually, they can start helping updating, like apply a rule to an integration, or make sure that like they can help us apply these rules. So I think being more verbose in your documentation, the more documentation you have, is going to be helping with developer productivity. And in the end, because we are community powered, right? Like, we need to invest in empowering our community. And so this is going to help on every level, right? So you don't have to wait for a review. You can start verifying and making sure the changes you're making are right. You no longer have to rely on Martin or other reviewers of knowing everything by heart. You can look it up before you get the review, and you know that a pull request will be accepted or not.
It also helps with people that want to help out with reviews, right? They can also look at this and know what is expected. So this is not just the end user experience. Indeed, it is an important part, but it's more likely, more importantly, I think in this case, a developer experience as well that has been improved. So that's great and absolutely helpful. What we do with these with these scales here, like Platinum, for example, is that we now are going to show this in the UI as well. So here's a little example of Home Wizard, and I already saw Duco in the chat as well today. He's actually maintaining this integration, and he actually went through all these rules already and has applied them to the Home Wizard integration. So the Home Wizard integration is one of the first ones that actually got the Platinum quality scale assigned, which is really good. It's very nice to see, and it's very well done. And it's nice to be able that something you run is actually meant and tested to be run very well. Yeah, so that's really good.
Yeah, and actually, Home Wizard is a great example. Home Wizard is part of the Works with Home Assistant program, right? So they are a partner of Home Assistant, and the Works with Home Assistant program nowadays is based on devices, right? So certain devices of them, we have them at home, they send them to us, and we've tested them. We made sure that they work locally. We make sure that they're robust. They follow our sustainability guidelines, their firmware updates, all these things. And the integration needs to be gold at least. So you need to have a gold quality scale to be able to certify a device. Now, if you use an open standard, Zigbee, Z-Wave, Matter, ESP Home, we are the ones as Home Assistant team maintaining the integrations. If it is something like Home Wizard, which has a custom API, Home Wizard itself is responsible for this maintenance of this integration. Using the quality scale, they know exactly the rules that they need to follow to make sure that their devices remain Works with Home Assistant part of the program, right? Because they meet all the requirements.
What I like most, by the way, about this, and it's a little detail that you cannot see in the screenshot, but it actually glimpses a little bit. It will show in the UI. It's a little micro animation there. We don't have many of those yet in the UI, but this one shows, and it's so fitting on like this little Platinum thing. It's beautiful. Anyways, that's the new integration quality scale. But I want to add, we have a bunch of other tiers as well. So we have these scaled 4 tiers, which are from low to high, basically like the okay one to the best of the best. But we also have 4 special tiers that are not really scaled. They don't fit on a scale. They're not more important than one or the other. But the first one is no score. And as like already highlighted, everything is being reset to no score. Right now, nothing has a score unless Home Wizard, of course, has done everything. And TD is there, and for example, as well, if you have those locks, it's also Platinum, which is really well done. But yeah, most of them will have no score right now. And what we've seen tons of contributions coming in integrations and integration owners and contributors trying to level up their integrations. So in that case, it looks well, and I'm pretty sure as of next release, we will see a lot of integrations having an actual new quality scale side. So that's good. Yeah. So no score is something that should be temporary, right? And then we have internal. We have a lot of internal integrations that are used by Home Assistant. And a good example of that would be Scenes, which we talked about today, automation, or the Voice Assist, which might have some hardware soon, apparently. So yeah, those are internal integrations, which really don't have scale. It's just part of Home Assistant. Last, then Legacy. And Legacy is something that we've introduced, and it's actually being used for everything that doesn't have a UI to set up yet. I'm not sure. When did we start adding UI support for setting up integrations, Paul? Do you remember?
I
which year?
mean, well, that must be. I think that's when Ubiquiti was paying me to work on Home Assistant. So that must have been 2017. I think that's I added, because that year I think I first added passwords, authentication support, and then I worked on config flows, or maybe the other way around, something like this. So yeah, it's been a while.
So we still have integrations that still cannot be set up through the UI. And if you buy now, right, like looking at that time frame, still the integration didn't move to the UI, chances are likely that it's kind of not maintained or like outdated or whatnot. We've assigned legacy to all of those. You're laughing, Leo. What's up?
I have one. It's my speakers, like super expensive speakers, and like
legacy integration now. Huh? Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I mean, it works, but I think it's the only one that I'm still setting up in YAML.
Yeah. No, I mean, legacy integrations, they don't have unique IDs. You cannot change the entities IDs. You rely on all these old hacks that we don't want that they exist anymore even. But like, so really, like, I mean, if you are a developer able to contribute and you have yourself a legacy integration, please help us move to the UI. Just moving it to the UI, adding a config flow. We even have a scaffolding template that kind of generates all of this for you. Please help us out, because it would just be a big win for the community. And
make it bronze.
Yeah. One of the things I want to do is that, starting like with the next release, because then we have 2 data points, is that we start having like a stacked bar chart graph that we can see every release, how many of all these 8 skills do we, or 7 because custom we cannot track or we shouldn't track, we have basically, and we can, count how many integrations are there in the Home Assistant ecosystem, what is the quality overall, and of course this is all building up, right? Like, we want to make sure that you as a user know that integrations you're using work well. We want you to know that when you are looking to add a device to your house, that you don't pick an integration that has legacy score, right? Because you, as a user, we hope like, ooh, legacy, that is going to be a rough time, right? Like, maybe as a user, you're going to be saying, I only am going to look at gold and up. And that's what we would love to see, right? And I think that's where hopefully we get to at some point. Who knows?
The important mark here that you mentioned, that custom is indeed the last one. Custom integrations, we cannot rate them, we cannot scale them, we cannot control them, we don't review them, so we don't know. And those integrations can't those like custom scale automatically assigned. But yeah, what's important here is that we create something that like can be expanded. So we also took into account how we can evolve this scale over time, right? That was a previous thing in the past. We now have procedures in place to like add new rules to this and how to handle that and how to do that. So we can now keep this going for the upcoming future and adopt this to the needs that are like maybe like appearing in the upcoming time. So all in all, I'm really stoked seeing this. I hope it's giving a little bit of gamification for our developer community as well, right? It is very cool, and you can check off boxes, and it's like showing truly your effort there. But it's also important for the end users to understand what it's for. So for you, in this case, you're watching. Yeah. All right. Let me see. Is there anything else on this?
Boom, boom,
Nope.
boom, boom.
No, that's the integration quality scale, I would say. Did we get any questions in the meantime? I didn't pay attention. Did you, Macy?
Most of the questions were around like the custom stuff and how that ends up getting done. But someone actually specifically asked about the ESP Home device compiler, and they don't know why it was changed for that. So I wondered if we could like.
Sure.
That's a good segment. So we renamed ESP Home to ESP Home Device Compiler because we made for ESP Home is a program we introduced like a year, maybe 2 years ago. And we've been really working on, like, ESP Home is a way of creating firmware, right? It originally started to allow people to create firmware for their own devices. But, we acquired ESP Home back in the days. We've donated it to the Open Home Foundation. We have 2 people working on it full time. And it's not just a platform anymore for people to create their own firmware. It has become a tool for community members to create devices with ESP Home powered firmware and then sell this to other community members. For example, Lewis from Everything Smart Home, he sells the Everything Presence 1. There's Apollo, they have a bunch of ESP Home based devices. And these manufacturers, I mean, yes, they are community members, they come out of community, they are also manufacturers. They have other needs, right? Like they want to have HTTP over the air updates, which we've added, and we've made it easier and easier to use these devices. And actually, the truth is that today, to use an ESP Home device that you didn't make yourself, you don't need the ESP Home add-on. You actually can just use Home Assistant. You only need the add-on if you want to make changes to the configuration. And so every made for ESP Home device, fully open source, right? You can take control of them. You open the ESP Home add-on, the ESP Home device compiler add-on. They discover these devices on your network. You can take control. You can change the configuration. We see hardware that has like Grove extension ports, so you can like plug in extra stuff, add more configuration. Maybe you want lights to be different colors, add a Bluetooth proxy. Who knows what you want to do? It's possible.
But I think that we are trying to change a muscle memory, which is like when you see ESP Home. And we saw it with the voice hardware, right? It's ESP Home based. Paulus said like we have about 1,000 of them in the wild. We are doing support for these testers and users, and a lot of them just say like, "Hey, I'm trying to compile it in ESP Home, and I'm running into this, or it's very long." And then I was always asking the same question, which is, "Why do you do that?" And well, because I need to. And so this is what we're trying to change. It's like kind of like a muscle memory. ESP Home is two things. If you're a builder, it's the way to build the firmware. And if you want, you can even sell it. And as a user, it's just a protocol. It's a protocol. It's an open protocol that is natively supported by Home Assistant. You plug it in, it is discovered, you use it. You don't need any add-on for that. And I have the feeling that we have more and more products that are with this made with ESP Home program. And you may actually in your home have more and more products that you actually don't really need to handle yourself.
Yeah, I think that's the balance that's shifting. There will be more devices. There will be more users than people building with ESP Home.
Yeah, exactly.
So, just to avoid that confusion, we initially doubled down, like I said, like ESP Home device compiler. We got the feedback that's a bit long for the sidebar. We were aware. Some people said it made the sidebar wider. It did not. It just perfectly fit it. But we have made it smaller. So it's called ESP Home Compiler. Frank was even suggesting, should it be ESP Home Builder? Maybe. It's kind of interesting because on one hand, we've been working really hard on making ESP Home sound less technical. We were using the words flashing no more. We were using installing. We don't use firmware. We're just saying you install ESP Home or your project. So the word compile maybe is a bit off. We're still iterating a bit on that. But we wanted to make sure that people don't default to it.
Yeah. I want to show like a small note on that. In my system, I have 10 ESP Home devices. I won't be able to open this because there is the name of the hardware product that we are launching there. But if I go to my ESP Home project, that's my ESP Home dashboard because I actually only manage one of them. That's the only one I manage. It's my standing desk. All of the other ones are Everything Presence sensors by Lewis and the voice hardware. And all of them are managed by other companies, entities, persons. The nice thing about that, and maybe we need like a ESP Home live stream at some point, is that if you take control of the device, it's your device, and if it's your device, you update it. Like you are the one that is going to update your device. If you do not take control of the device, the one that is managing that device, so Lewis for the Everything Presence sensors, us for the voice hardware, we are going to update it. So you will receive updates the same way you receive updates for, I don't know, anything. And so we are trying to change a bit the way people are seeing things. Not that the compiler is a bad thing, right? I mean, I love creating my own devices. I have less and less now. But it's two routes. And then the nice thing about ESP Home is that you can go from one path to the other. You can say, okay, I've been using this device for 1 year. I'm sick of the firmware that is on it. I'm going to take control of it. I'm going to change everything. Which you will be able to do with our voice hardware, which I'm actually very happy about that. I'm happy that you will be able to, take control of it and do whatever you want with it. This is
I
amazing.
actually did, and I had so much fun with it. Right? I
Yeah.
made a mobile version, by the way, in case people want to know, and I added in WireGuard as a VPN into my new hardware device that is going to be announced the 19th of December. You should definitely tune in and like this channel, hit the thumbs up. But yes, I made a version that had WireGuard and could VPN, and then I put a battery pack in my back pocket with and like one of those lanyards for phones I attached to it, so I could carry it around. I had a mobile version that would work with my phone and carry
I
it
would have
around
loved to
in
see the
US.
face of people when you explain that. What is this? Wait 1 second. Okay, Nabu,
Yeah.
turn on the
Yeah.
lights. Look, the lights have turned on
Hey.
like 8,000 kilometers from here.
Don't wake it up.
Now it was cool. So Frank and I demoed it on stage at the Home Assistant meetup in San Francisco actually last month. So we showed everybody the prototype. Nobody leaked it out. Very cool.
Except you.
Yeah.
You're watching. You should tune in the 19th.
Yes, it's true. So yeah, that was cool. You can take control while still being hooked into the original firmware. So you can just override the parts that you want, or you just throw everything out. It's really up to you, which I think is it's such a powerful system that we have, and really it puts the user first, right? You want a working device that you don't maintain, you got it. You want to maintain it a little bit, configure, customize it. You want to take control, you can do whatever you want. Like sky's the limit.
Yep. ESP Home is cool. Just cool, by the way, in general.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like it a lot.
All right.
As so does Louis here from Everything Smart Home. Right. Thank you, Louis, for building that stuff. That's cool.
Oh, same with Jesse.
He is biased. That's not fair. No, it's fine. Jesse.
Jesse is one of the full-time maintainers of and the lead of ESP Home. So. Working
All
full-time
right.
because people like you subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud by Nabukasa.
So, with that, should we dive back into the release now?
Yes. Anything left?
Yeah, we have some new integrations this release we should talk about. So, bam, here they are.
Oh, that second one is interesting, huh?
Yeah, should we start with that one then?
Yeah.
Let's go. Marcel.
What a great name. Can I just say, like, I have a history of naming things. Just right. This one is right up there. This is like.
I was about to say, like, it's not always been the best idea, but okay. Yeah. No, Music Assistant is coming to Core, and that doesn't mean that Music Assistant itself, like that, is an add-on, right? Music Assistant is an add-on.
I'm going to just interrupt you there.
Oh.
What is Music Assistant? Because nobody knows.
Things at once, actually. Right?
So Music Assistant, Home Assistant controls music players, right? But Home Assistant itself doesn't know about music collection, playlist, shuffle, repeat, all that stuff. Music Assistant really does what Home Assistant does for the smart home, but for music. So it takes your local collection, it takes your Spotify collection, Tidal, whatever you're subscribed to, shows it to you as a single unified music collection. Now, it even merges items, right? So if you have like the Beatles locally, but you also have the Beatles on Spotify, if you were to play Rolling Stones and the Beatles, like some radio, but you don't have the Rolling Stones locally, it will automatically select the highest quality. So it will take the Beatles from locally, it takes from Spotify the Rolling Stones. It will generate a single URL web radio stream of high quality, lossless, FLAC encoded music. And you can stream it to any music player, right? So you can stream it to Sonos, you can stream it to Squeeze Lite, AirPlay, anything that can play audio, maybe even some voice hardware on the 19th, you can play music to. And this is really cool because it gives you as a user full control. I mean, I know JLO's a big time user. He has all these crazy hacks that maybe we have time for.
I can talk about
it's
it.
awesome. And Music Assistant itself is created by Marcel, who also, by the way, works full time on Home Assistant as paid by Nabukasa. He actually works on Matter. Music Assistant is his side project. Music Assistant is also a collaboration partner of the Open Home Foundation. Yeah, it's cool. It's really
very cool.
And it's just an add-on that you install in Home Assistant. So you install the add-on, it will discover the integration now. Beautiful.
Yeah. So this used to be a custom integration, and that custom integration is now moving to be built into Core, which is
just one thing which I guess, of course, makes sense, but maybe won't make sense for newcomers. Music Assistant is it's still an application that is standalone that you need to install, right? So they are calling it the Music Assistant server. It's an add-on. You find it on the add-on store of Home Assistant OS. And this is a standalone application, right? I mean, technically, it could even run without Home Assistant. It's just a way to plug two things, your music providers, local or cloud, to your music speakers.
Yeah.
Grouped or not grouped. And this, there is a UI, and you can just play with the UI. And this is like the Home Assistant application itself. Looks like this. That's an application with like things, artists, album, playlists, etc., and then all of the speakers that are there. And it is also a integration that is bridging Music Assistant into Home Assistant. This integration creates media players that you can control by voice, and you can automate on it, and you can do crazy things. So these two things, and of course, the add-on is never going to go into Core. That doesn't mean anything. Like the application is still there, and it's still going to be there, and it's the integration that is moving from Axe to Core.
Yep.
I hope it was clear.
I think it's clear. It's definitely try it out. Like, go check out Music Assistant. This be my message.
Music Assistant, so as a standalone application, it's very, very nice. Because I mean, it's just a music app, right? When you think about it, it's just a music app. Except that, right? If you are, for example, a big family, and some of you are using Tidal, some of you are using Apple Music, some of you are using Spotify. Now it's like your music app that is like all of them combined. You don't even know from where you are listening to music. If you have multiple speakers, it's the same thing. It's just like this great orchestration of music all over the place, and the integration. For me, it's really like the cherry on the cake. It's like the automation part.
Yeah.
Being able to just launch music everywhere you want, extremely easily, by voice, click of a button. I wake up with music from Music Assistant. I put my daughter to sleep with Music Assistant. I have like transfer music everywhere. Like I can the music follows me around the house, etc. And this is super simple to do with Music Assistant. So yeah, that's the cherry on the cake, more or less.
I should try it again once. Like I remember, I'm not a user, so like I shame on me. But like I'm in the Sonos ecosystem, and that used to be okay for me. But it used to be okay, right? They everybody knows. In case you don't know, but I guess most people know, they kind of messed up the apps. So I would definitely look.
So just so you know, like Sonos is also. Shooting themselves in the foot, and we are also seeing that in Music Assistant. There is no other way around. For example, like on the older, newer, Marcel, please, I don't remember. One in the new versions of the speakers for the Era 100, 300, you cannot AirPlay on it. So there is like different protocols. Music Assistant supports like Sonos, but it also supports AirPlay. And the nice thing about AirPlay was that you were able to say like, I'm going to make a big groups of like Sonos and non-Sonos speakers, and it's going to be like synced to the beat. And today you cannot do that with the new ones because they broke AirPlay because they don't need it, and it's correct. They broke AirPlay 1. AirPlay 2 has never been reverse engineered. So yes, on your iPhone you can just say like AirPlay to my Sonos. But on Music Assistant, we can't because we're using AirPlay 1 like every open source product, because AirPlay 2 is just not reverse engineered. So yeah, I mean, it's not going to be like stellar. It's still the same thing, but it works great. Yeah.
I see a suggestion in the comments saying we should have Video Assistant. So if somebody's out there, no, you should just try Jellyfin, I think. It's not like... Oh, Frank, you're muted.
Music video assistant would be cool, and like inside of
Ooh.
music assistant, like
We
music
could
video
build home
assistant.
Call
assistant.
it MTV assistant.
Yeah, MTV, music television assistant. Okay, that might get us into trouble, maybe. But yeah, nevertheless, yeah, something like that would be cool. By the way, with the audio synced up to multiple speakers, and then having the video clips playing on TV. Well, I would actually love that.
Any protocol that reports which millisecond of music it had just played can be used for grouping, right? So Squeeze Light or Slim Proto, I guess, is the protocol. Squeeze Light, AirPlay. Yeah. So.
One small question which I will reply with one word: music assistant and the new voice hardware. Yes.
Tune in the 19th.
Yeah, tune in the 19th.
What's happening the 19th? Well, no, let's not
Rewatch like when the stream will be ended, you can just scroll wherever you want on the
somewhere will be explained.
All right, let's what else do we have? We have coffee scales. If you ever feel like weighing your coffee, tracking the coffee you have waiting in Home Assistant, very important. You can do that now if you have an Akaya coffee scale.
Yeah, I need to. Oh, interesting.
Lost audio. I've lost audio. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you, Frank.
Okay. I
am
also lost audio. I only hear a robot voice. So yeah, I have to take it a little bit without me this piece.
Okay. Yeah, then we have NAS Web, which is an automation system. North Pole, which is funny because that in the Dutch that means like the North Pole, like the actual like the cold part. But yeah, it's an energy market. Now we have those energy prices in Home Assistant, great for your energy dashboard. And Sky Remote, Skybox. This is in the UK. Apparently, you can control this, which is awesome. Okay, Frank cannot hear us. I don't know if he can scroll.
No, this is it. I can half hear you now, so I hope this is enough.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
No, yeah, I just glanced over the integration. I think the other ones are not as cool as Music Assistant. But
did you talk about that famous scale?
I talked about the famous scale. Yeah. No, I covered them all.
Good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's dive a little bit deeper into what we have here, which is improvements to existing integrations. The first one is really cool.
I love it.
It's really cool. If you have Unified Protect and one of those fingerprint readers or NFC cards, you will not get events for them in Home Assistant. And one of the most asked questions during the beta was, can you automate it on a specific fingerprint or NFC card? Yes, you can.
I have this. I use the Yale Azure locks with over Bluetooth proxies, and I have this also. I have a sensor of like what's the last operator of the door, right? Like who opened the lock. It's really cool. So because then you can say, oh, I am coming home versus my kids are coming home, and then I can have different actions happen in the house.
Nice.
TP-Link, some new hubs. Really cool in general to see that integrations keep expanding, by the way.
Yeah.
Always good. Starkiller keeps pushing on Reolink.
Very nice.
Very nice, right? And there's some like we're getting into the regions where it's kind of a bit of like technical maybe, but you can now change the bitrate and frame rate on the fly. And there's actually a use case for it I found very cool. Like you could, for example, set a high bitrate and frame rate when motion is detected in your front yard, for example. So you don't always use like maximum batwinds and such. So that is actually a pretty darn cool use case.
When you arm your alarm, etc. Oh, that's nice. That's cool.
I like it.
I've lost it again. So
yeah. Oh, you have lost audio. Okay. Well, Frank is fighting that.
Do you want me to share the screen just so that we can keep?
Oh yeah, then we can keep scrolling. Yeah, that's fine.
Give me a sec.
Yeah. So Stokewijzer also got some new sensors. Can you zoom in a little?
Yep.
So it looks like exactly the same. Yeah, it's better.
Two more. Sorry. Yeah. Give me a sec. Right, we are there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean I like the Bluetooth Smart, the EQ3 now being able to control these things on your thermostats. like knowing the battery life, this kind of stuff is cool. Yeah, no, this is a cool additions. It's like if you don't use this integration, you're like whatever. But these are nice. These are nice. Let's go to the next one. This one I think is actually doing this part first. Download snap. This is a cool the download snapshot. We were in the last release. We were talking about WebRTC. If you've missed it, we have really fast cameras now in Home Assistant. We added a download snapshot button, and in the last stream we said, "Oh, wouldn't it be nice if you just had a button to download it?" Well, GPB was like, "Okay, let's add this button." And actually, when you press this button on iOS, that used to not work downloading things, but Bruno has fixed this. So if you now download a snapshot of your camera, or of course you're downloading a history CSV, which is a very important feature. Now that works on iPhone. It used to be that you couldn't download your history and CSV on iPhone. That's fixed. So thank you for GPB. Thank you for Bruno. That's very nice. Actually, one of the things we didn't really mention it here, but we've improved improv, JLO.
Yeah, I was thinking we cannot really demo it, but we can talk about it.
Why can we? Well, we cannot demo it. We can.
We have
Atom
videos.
Echo, the Atom Echo has it, right? Oh, you
No,
need to use like
I cannot
iPhone
demo it
screen
now
mirroring.
because we have to have the phone, etc. But
Yeah. No,
Um,
for people that don't know, we have our own Bluetooth. We have our own Bluetooth protocol to send Wi-Fi credentials to ESP devices to get them connected to the network. Actually, it's not linked to ESP only, but it's a way. For example, if you buy a ESP home powered device, let's say the Everything Smart Presence One from Lewis, you will be able to connect it to the Wi-Fi using Bluetooth. Now, the way that works on a phone is that if you go to the integrations page, you will be able to. It will now show up as a discovered card, just like straight up integrated as every discovery shows up. Really cool, slick integration. And then you set up the Wi-Fi. Then, of course, it gets discovered in Home Assistant's ESP Home. You set up the ESP Home. You're done. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So here we are talking about like the step just the step to onboard the device into your Wi-Fi network.
Yeah.
And it's seamless now on iOS and Android. Both of them are released.
Yeah, they're released. They should be
released. They're released. And this is going to be useful. Well, okay, yes, it's going to be useful for our voice hardware, but actually there is a lot of devices that are using this. Again, like Louis with like all of the Everything Presence, Everything Presence sensors.
Yeah.
You buy them, you plug them, discovered on your phone, and you may think like, oh, how is it discovered? Well, it's discovered because your phone is actually going to communicate with the device via Bluetooth. Yeah.
We keep talking about Lewis.
Quick intermezzo. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. I can hear too. So that's cool. I'm not sure why, but like audio output is that I now hear to my earbuds, so that works. Anyways, hi.
We just got a little sidetrack. We had download snapshot, the update to the iPhone app to download history CSV. Then we got talking about the new improv stuff that landed in both of the apps. But we're talking about the noteworthy changes. So I don't know.
Dive back into that?
Yeah, let's. I don't know if we can get a screen going because we only have 7 minutes left, right? So we haven't even talked about units.
There are many units, and we'll talk about more units in a bit.
Yes.
But I want to highlight this one because we talked about Cowards in the beginning and how he always does things right that are very good. I think this is a
very good quality.
No-brainer. Like, why is this never been this way? So if you now added an automation through YAML in the automation editor, and you make a YAML like syntax error, it will actually tell you have one and tell you where. Right? Okay. So yeah, one of those things you're like, why was this never be in here?
We now support gigawatt energy usage. So if you're measuring or if you own like a small nuclear power plant, for example, terawatt, we got you. We got you. Yeah. Maybe like your fusion reactor in your like garage can now be hooked up. It would be cool. 1.21 gigawatts. Yeah.
Translations for units of measurement also landing this release. This is one of the
Is
corners.
this now really the last? Like, I thought previously we had translated everything, but have we
No.
now really translated everything?
No,
I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you yes, we can translate anything, but I still have one place which we cannot, which is the name of the device. We cannot translate the device names yet. But everything else, I think we can, including units of measurement, which I think is a really cool addition. So if you have a sensor that says like I have 10 movies on my movie TV assistant, then we can now show you the unit movies translated to your own language.
Yeah,
really cool. Thank you so much for adding that. That's great. There's by the way a bunch of integrations that moved to this already.
My printer told me already, like, hey.
Oh yeah, that's a
Pages.
backwards incompatible change. Yes, we'll
Yeah.
get to that in a bit.
We upgraded to Python 3.13. If you are using Home Assistant, you don't have to do anything unless you are the 2.6% of users that are maintaining their own Python installation. Don't be those people. Yeah, it's just so much work, so much pain, and we just have an amazing Docker image. It just works.
Just to highlight here, I think the effort that went into this is really cool because normally this takes us like 6 months or something to get to a new Python version. Python was released in October and it's now shipped. So this is definitely a new milestone in the way the speed we can ship this stuff. So that's really cool. Thank you so much, Mark Miller, if you're watching, but thank you so much for all your effort there. And for people that are watching this and like, what is this and does it matter? It doesn't. It's just faster and we will ship it for you. You don't have to do anything. You just hit upgrade when the update is there. And
it eventually, like indirectly, it does matter, right? That we keep our application up to date with all of everything.
Yeah, and it gives us a lot of capabilities and like new shiny stuff under the hood, right? But as a user,
Yeah, correct.
yeah. So just hit the update button and enjoy it. That's basically it. Then we get to the last bit of this one, which is the backwards incompatible changes.
Oh, and printer.
And there's your printer, Brother. And the Brother printer actually switched from P for pages to pages in order to provide translations, which is kind of good. But yes, it will, if you rely on this unit, that will cause a problem.
Okay, just out of curiosity, why are we... sorry, no, it's not the translation that they changed. It's really the unit of measurement. Okay, sorry, I thought like the translation was the breaking change. I was like, no, wait, no, that's not...
You printed 100p. And what is a
okay.
P? So it's now pages.
Petabyte.
Petabyte, yeah. Terawatts. Anyways, the Glances is in here. New API is there. There's V2 API has been removed. They're on V4 right now, so it shouldn't be much of an issue. QNAP removed a bunch of extra state attributes, which have sensors nowadays, so you wouldn't need them. Spotify. Oh, yes, we should talk about Spotify. So last release, we introduced, in the November release, we introduced a lot of new beautiful sensors for Spotify that had things like, is this an upbeat? Yes, danceability sensors and whatnot. And we released that with all happiness. And on 27 November, Spotify just decided to remove all of them, like without warning, just gone.
I wonder, like, did they watch our release? They were like, why are we giving away this data? And then,
or more like, wait, someone is using that? What?
So no automated party mode based on music anymore. It's sad, but it's true. And it has been removed again.
So now we have to train an AI, get Music Assistant to integrate an AI to analyze real time all the music it's playing to see if it's danceable.
And to skip country song. Like
skip country songs.
No, well, that I have a blueprint for that, right? I have a blueprint on the Blueprint Exchange. You can download it today. You can attach it to a media player, combine it with a conversation agent. It will ask for every song. Is this a country song? Automatically skip it. You can, by the country is the default setting, but you can change this You can change this to anything, right? If you want to skip like, I don't know, folk songs or dance music, or
I would.
then you can just ask that to
One day I want
ChatGPT.
to come to your home and just change country to not country so that it skips everything. Until it plays
I at
country.
some point I had it running and I had forgotten about it, but apparently, like for like 2 months, I had sent every song to ChatGPT.
Well done.
Oops.
Oops. Yeah, I just got my Spotify year overview and I looked at the amount of songs. I would not send them all to the LLM. Like, there was a lot of plays. Anyways, going back to this list, look at it. If there's anything in here that you're using, be sure to check it out. And otherwise, let me quickly scroll up because, seeing you in 2025, I would say, right? This is it. This is the last release of the year.
But not the last thing we're releasing.
This year.
No, there will be some small thing.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
we did it perfect. We hit the 2-hour mark. Exactly.
Great
I do
job,
have-
guys. I'm proud
I
of
do
you.
have two additional little announcements to make, by the way. One of them didn't end up in the release notes, and I'm wondering why I didn't do that. So that's one. If you're looking for the 2025.1 release, this is going to be changed a little bit in schedule. We will be releasing later than normal because normally we release on the first Wednesday of the month, and the beta will start the last Wednesday of the month. So that's a week of beta. But we're shifting that a little bit because the beta would start on December 25th. We all would like to celebrate that with the family. So we will start the beta a little bit earlier on December 23rd. So if you're a beta, if you join the beta regularly and normally, we will start that sooner. And the release would have been on January 1st because that's a Wednesday.
Also lame. Yeah.
Also very lame. So we're extending that a little bit. We will instead, for one time only, release on Friday, the first Friday of the month, which will be the January the 3rd. So we will be back on a different moment than normal. Yeah.
Yep.
And with that said, I'm only left with thanks everybody for using Home Assistant, joining Home Assistant, like being a contributor, part of the community. And I hope you all have like the very, very best Christmas and holiday season ahead of possible. And whatever you do, hit the like button down below, the thumbs up, subscribe to it, hit the bell, because on the 19th, you want to be here.
You want to be here.
You want to be here.
Yeah.
To experience what we are going to show you. I'm so excited for that. Like, come on. This is amazing.
Good. Before we
Are we
leave,
going?
I've seen a few comments asking about my GitHub sweater, so I'll just show like
Yeah, stand up.
it's like
All full glory
in the full
with Mona
glory,
on it.
Mona and Copilot and like
Is Ducky on it too, by the way? I haven't seen that actually.
no. So they sold it at GitHub Universe, but they
Yeah.
actually
No,
sell
Ducky
it
is
at the
not on
online
it.
store now as
Nope.
well.
No ducky.
No Ducky.
No Ducky.
Yeah, I like Ducky so much. Ducky is cool.
Yeah.
And are we going to the stage?
Yes. If
Yeah.
you want to
Yes.
just hang out with us, ask us some questions, come join us on Discord on the stage for some.
If you are wondering where is the stage, it's pretty simple. You go to the Discord, the Home Assistant Discord. There's going to be a big fat notification about joining the stage.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, with that all being said, thanks everybody for watching. Subscribe to Home Assistant Club in Abu Casa. If you want to see more, hear more, let us do more, support our work. Otherwise, go update, go play with all the new features. Try out the sections dashboard, by the way, if you haven't. And we'll see you on the stage or the 19th or the 3rd of January. Thank
I'm
you.
going to say happy holidays. Bye-bye.
Yes.
See you. Bye bye. Happy holidays.